Ever heard of a murder case where the victim left behind a haunting voicemail? This is the story of Faith Hedgepeth, a vibrant young woman whose life was tragically taken away, and the secrets that still shroud her murder. Faith Hedgepeth was a promising student with dreams of becoming a doctor, but her life took a dark turn when she crossed paths with a mysterious attacker. What happened that fateful night in her off-campus apartment would haunt a community and stump investigators for years. So stay with us until the end, because we're about to uncover the untold details of this shocking case that's still begging for answers. This story takes us to Chapel Hill, a charming community located deep in the heart of North Carolina. Chapel Hill is frequently praised as a haven for education and peace because of its cobblestone walkways, beautiful surroundings, and the esteemed University of North Carolina. However, the investigators have been trapped for years by the story that lurks under the lovely town's surface. Faith Danielle Hedgepeth, born in Warren County on September 26, 1992, is part of the Haliwa Sapani Native American tribe that has been recognized by the state of North Carolina. Her mother named her Faith since she was born during an extremely difficult time for her family. Faith performed so well in high school that she was awarded a scholarship to study at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. She was an honor student, a cheerleader, and an active member of numerous groups and organizations. With her glowing smile that could brighten the gloomiest of days, she had a way of making everyone around her feel special. Faith was the kind of person who could effortlessly bridge gaps between people. Her friends describe her as a caring, compassionate soul who always put others before herself. Faith's promising life, however, took a terrifying and unexpected turn that shocked the community and left detectives struggling to figure out a riddle. It was September 6, 2012, when Faith spent the day just like any other day of the week, going about her daily activities. She went to a Native American school sorority's rush event because she wanted to join, studied in the library, and then she and her roommate, Karina Rosario, who she had been friends with since her freshman year, went to The Thrill, a nightclub located downtown in Chapel Hill. The two of them stayed till closing time. After meeting a group of men and starting to dance, Karen Rosario suddenly claimed that she wasn't feeling well. She complained of a stomach pain, so they returned to their flat at around 2:30 a.m. Due to a little too much drinking, Karina felt nauseous. Faith, therefore, assisted her before passing out on the bed herself. But later that night, Karina left the flat again around 4:30 a.m. to see a friend, leaving the door unlocked. Then around 11 a.m., when she and her friend Marisol Rangel went back, they discovered Faith was lying face up, her head partly off the bed, with a puddle of blood beneath her head. She had a black t-shirt pulled up above her head and was completely naked over the waist. Karina had assumed that Faith would have been sleeping comfortably throughout the 6.5 hours she had been away. But instead, it had been the worst. Police quickly showed up at the horrible scene when Karina dialed 911.
There's blood all over the pillows. I don't know what happened.
Is she breathing?
I don't think so.
It was discovered that Faith died from blunt force trauma to her skull, which was caused by being struck with a glass bottle that was in the flat, according to the autopsy report. She also suffered injuries on her wrists and legs. However, in September 2014, more than 2 years after Faith's murder, police discovered that the crime scene had male DNA proof and a message in the teenager's handwriting that said, "I'm not stupid, jealous," was discovered close to her body, written on a fast food bag. It appeared from the scene that Faith had known who her killer was. However, this discovery reignited hope within the community and Faith's family. Could this DNA evidence finally lead to answers they had been desperately seeking? The days, months, and eventually years pass without a solution, and as police closely guard their inquiry, the unsolved murder attracts attention on a national scale, with the media pressing for further disclosure of details. Police question numerous people, including Eric Takoy Jones. Jones is a promising rapper and the ex-boyfriend of Faith's roommate, Karina. In the weeks before Faith's murder, Eric and Karina's relationship apparently experienced significant tension. Police discovered that Karina had issued a restraining order against Eric during July of that year. That restraining order had been issued as a result of domestic assault. As part of the inquiry, they heard multiple reports of Karina showing up with bodily injuries that were allegedly caused by her lover. So during the difficult moments with Eric, Faith stepped up to support her roommate and friend. Thinking the purpose of the murder was revenge, the police went on to investigate Eric. That was when, after some reluctance, the aspiring rapper cooperated entirely with the authorities, once his DNA was examined and his car and apartment was searched for evidence. But the DNA did not match, and he was ultimately proved innocent and stopped being considered a person of suspicion. After discovering no evidence linking Karina to the incident, the police even gave her the all clear. Each of Faith's male friends, every resident of her apartment building, and the group of people that went to the thrill were all put to the test. However, not a single individual's DNA matched the DNA discovered at the actual crime scene. Although a drawing of Faith's murderer was created using the DNA, her case has not been solved, and her killer continues to be out there. A $40,000 reward was recently announced. Police have made fresh records public that include a bizarre object discovered at the scene of her murder, almost 2 years after it went unresolved. In the days since Faith's tragic death, authorities were actively searching for any potential persons of interest. According to police investigations, there is evidence from the crime scene that suggests Faith may have also been the victim of sexual assault. Surprisingly, after a few weeks, a friend of Faith's gave the police the voicemail she had accidentally left with them on a pocket dial the night prior to her murder. The voicemail was thought to be a record of Faith's final moments since it features a dialogue between her, a female, and 2 guys. A timestamp on it, though, reads 1:23 a.m., which is the time Faith was inside the nightclub. This prompted the hiring of an audio expert, Alro West, who specializes in improving such recordings in order to evaluate them. He claims to have recognized the names of Eric and Rosie in the audio file when Faith is probably pleading for her life. However, after several thousand interviews, the state attorney general, local, county, and state police finally had an identified suspect in custody, but they have warned the general public that their job is not yet done. The person being charged had not been among the numerous first suspects in the case, nor among the suspects who had been on the police's radar, as well as the radar of internet professional investigators who had been obsessively following the case. Police withheld revealing how or when they discovered the suspect. But what we know is after more than 9 years, on September 16, 2021, after his DNA was linked to the crime, 28-year-old Durham, North Carolina resident Miguel Enrique Salguero Olivares had been charged with first-degree murder. In tears, Hedgepeth's parents thanked God and the police for making the arrest. The first thought that crossed the mind of Rolanda Hedgepeth, Faith's mother, was, "It's finally happening." After Faith's passing 10 years ago, her loved ones wished to honor her memory for who she truly was rather than what she experienced. So as we reflect on the life of Faith Hedgepeth, we are reminded of the precious potential that was lost that fateful night. She was a beacon of hope and a source of inspiration for her community. Her memory lives on in the hearts of those who loved her. The story of Faith Hedgepeth serves as a stark reminder of the importance of seeking justice for victims and their families.